Opera. Like it or not, it's everywhere. It powers our cars and homes, delivers the news of the day, and even keeps us safe on weekends. But what is opera? How do you spell it? Can opera be detected with today's technology? All this and more in our second installment. On our second installment of the Keith Klein Show. Opera was invented here, in grand old Italy, almost 1,000 years ago, by a man named Giuseppe Opera. You may have heard of Mr. Opera by his more recent moniker, Opera Man, popularized by noted music historian Dr. Adam Sandler in his new movie, Saturday Night Live. After the dot-com crash of '93, Opera decided to take asylum in the United States. It settled on Kansas City, last seen somewhere in these woods. If you know the location of Kansas City, contact your local authorities or turn yourself in. After concluding our business in the forest, I had to do some digging to find out what was really going on. I sat down with Maestro Benton Hess to discuss the art form. Maestro Hess, thank you so much. Oh, yes, thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, open the other side. Here you go. Ah, very nice. Thank you so much for joining us today. I realize that it's been a lot of complications with your scheduling, and we've had to move some things around, so I very much appreciate you joining me today.
It's a great pleasure.
Of course. So, first question. Let's see. Who is opera? I'll elaborate. What is opera?
I'd rather answer who is opera.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very glad you asked me this question. She's universal and omnipresent, and everything or buddy that you know opera to be, if she isn't that, then what on earth could she possibly not be? Understand? Did I answer your question?
I think so. Do you mind if I take this off?
No, please. Yeah, please.
Italy is hot, apparently. I didn't realize that before I got here. When can someone tell if opera is happening in their general vicinity?
Well, the neighbors call the police.
Of course.
That's one thing.
As they should.
Or seismographs all over the world begin to pick up whatever seismographs all over the world pick up.
Right.
And that's about it.
Okay. Fantastic. Something for people at home to really take into account.
Oh, I forgot to say, there is some caterwauling involved.
Oh, okay. All right. Something for the emergency services to take into account.
Yes, that's right. I could give you a list of podcasts.
Thank you very much. Some critics of opera say that it's not cool.
Well, I have two words for them, and the second one is them.
According to recent articles in the New York Times and Newsweek and other sources, classical music is dying. But people have been saying that for 500 years. Popes, newspapers, other sources. Is classical music dying? Or is it just more probable that the Huffington Post doesn't know what it's talking about?
Well, it is probable that the Huffington Post doesn't know what it's talking about, but no. Well, classical music, is it dying? Not from what I see. I don't think classical music is dying necessarily. Although it may be. That's all.
People consider opera to be elitist due to the fact that a certain amount of education has to be had in order to really fully appreciate the artistry that goes into it. What do you say? Can the average layman appreciate opera, or is it only for higher educated people?
Oh, I think anybody can appreciate opera. It takes a little homework to get the full gist of it, but no, it's possible. It's possible. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to conduct in blue jeans and a t-shirt.
Right.
Does that mean I'm elitist?
I wouldn't assume so. Although I would imagine that certain conductors would rather do that. I did see a production of Tosca that was directed by James Foxworthy in a pair of sunglasses. So that's So I mean, certain avenues could be taken there.
Well, sunglasses, at least in Italy, are elite.
Right. Except it's Ray-Ban. It is a company called Luxottica that I think owns most of the sunglasses around here, although sunglasses huts are no longer to be seen. I actually lost a pair of mine in Firenze in an Apple store because I was trying to steal an Apple Watch. I obviously failed, but there are just certain things you can't get away with, apparently.
Right.
Where do you find the greatest influence of Debussy and Puccini's output?
Well, you begin to see it rather early on, because Puccini wrote Madame Butterfly in 1904, just a matter of months after the premiere of Pélias and Mélisande. So there you see it first, where he starts using augmented chords a lot. A lot. Of course, it also has to do with Puccini's fascination with gamelan, which he saw at the World's Fair in 1893.
Was that an introduction of exoticism, or was that pervading throughout Puccini's life?
I think that was something that was added to Puccini's life about the time that he heard Debussy for the first time. And of course, he continued to use that. You find it a lot in the Tridico. You also find it in Fanciulla del West. As a matter of fact, the great large sections of Fanciulla del West are based on pentatonic scale, or and with augmented chords just right and left. And very interesting question.
Do you ever wake up and like your shoulder hurts, but it's like not the shoulder that you were sleeping on?
No.
Maestro Hess, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. I tried asking similar questions to some local American opera singers, to limited success.
I've never heard of opera.
I think it sucks. I love it.
Yeah?
No. No, get it out of my face.
What, do you think you're better than me?
No.
Who?
Stop.
It was time to hit the streets to find out what the beautiful people of Italy thought about opera.
Allora, penso che l'opera è molto interessante, ci sono alcune opere anche molto divertenti. Non conosco molto, conosco da quando lavoro qui a scuola, però mi piace ascoltarla perché è sempre una scoperta, è sempre un viaggio, è un ritorno al passato, però con voi giovani anche un po' al futuro.
Genere che non mi piace. Poi noi siamo alla patria dei Pavarotti. Pavarotti abitava a Pesaro, abitava qui a Pesaro. Non mi piace.
Italians are often considered to be the greatest opera singers. Upon further investigation, I discovered why. They call it a bidet, and all over America, kids are getting hooked. In this small bowl lies the secret to operatic success. One would only have to roll a 7 or higher, and you're in. Once I had mastered the technical side of opera, practical application was next. I'm about to go on stage for the very first time in my life. Wish me luck. Remember, viewers, I'd only shot craps in a bidet mere hours before this performance. I was was quickly becoming accustomed to their ways. The attention, the fame, the women. My thinly veiled professionalism was beginning to crack.
Do you ever think, like, Republicans shouldn't vote? It's called protecting your voice, Devin. You should try it sometime. No, this is vodka. Hater! Did you use all the soap?
Det är min tvål. Det är min tvål, Keith.
And then, all at once, I had hit rock bottom.
I had learned much in my time here, mainly what the Italian word for is. Apparently it's I know, right? But to this reporter, opera remains a mystery. Perhaps one day it will come into the light. But until that moment, the world will just have to settle
for music theater.